If Amos's food is getting rid of the effect of autism and other diseases, isn't that evidence that food is part of the cause for those diseases? No question. That's what Robert Kennedy's point is. Robert Kennedy's like, why do we have a chronic disease epidemic in America? Why do we have this? Why do we have diseases that were unheard of when he was a kid, now commonplace? Maybe it has something to do with big food. Maybe it has something to do with big pharma. That they're contaminating our bodies on a regular basis with corporatized, commercialized, industrialized food supply, as well as medical supply that is being enabled by corporate-captured regulatory agencies serving those interests and not the interest of the people they're supposed to protect. It's another area, by the way, where Robert Kennedy's is, I get some people don't agree with Kennedy, that's fine. People think he's, could harm Trump. That's only because Trump is still AWOL on a whole bunch of things. It's amazing. I've reached out to many people in Trump's world over the last 6 months about Amos Miller. Credit to Scott Pressler, credit to Donald Trump Jr., and some other people for talking about it, raising it. But with Robert Kennedy, all I had to do is ask him once. That's it. Just let him know, hey, can you speak out about Amos Miller? Here's what's going on. He understood the issue right away, said absolutely. Send me 2 tweets. Send me something I can retweet and comment on, and you got it. And did it right away. Not only that, his entire political universe, Del Bigtree at the High Wire, Children's Health Defense, other organizations like that, bam, jumped in right away for Amos Miller. That's because Robert Kennedy gets it, but that's also because he understands the political benefit of it. Where is Trump? The reason why I like Kennedy's campaign, other than I'm a big fan of Bobby Kennedy the man, is because Kennedy presents competition for Trump. That's probably the only way we'll get Trump's attention on these issues. How do we know Trump's second term will be any better than his first term? A bunch of promises he failed to match up to his policies because of his personnel choices. How do we know it's going to be any better? Julian Assange, Robert Kennedy, pardon him day one. Donald Trump, AWOL. Edward Snowden, Robert Kennedy, pardon him day one. Donald Trump, AWOL. Brooke Jackson, COVID vaccines. Robert Kennedy, one of her key public supporters. Donald Trump, AWOL. Amos Miller, Robert Kennedy, the highest profile person to speak out on his behalf. Donald Trump, AWOL. I'm getting irritated by it. If we can have any confidence that a second term is going to be any better than the first term, a term where you got rolled by Fauci, rolled by Birx, rolled by Pompeo, rolled by the Federal Reserve, rolled by the CIA, it rolled by Mitch McConnell, rolled by Paul Ryan. If it's going to be any better in a second term, he needs to start taking position on these kind of defining issues, these kind of defining questions of deep state power. You can talk a lot about how you're going to take on the deep state. How are you going to do it? What's the policy and personnel choices you're going to make different than you made the first term that got you stuck in this situation now? And it's frustrating as all get out. And Amos Miller's as big a no-brainer as a political issue as you can possibly get. You're in Pennsylvania, a state that is razor thin the last 2 elections, where the Amish are a big section can give you the decisive margin of voting, where the food freedom people can give you the decisive margin of voting. And my guess is Trump still don't even know about it. I know Donald Trump Jr. has talked about it with him and other people have, but it's not hammering him. It took him 2 years to wake up on the vaccine, people booing him over and over again at rallies, and then he was like, oh, maybe preaching the vaccine is not really a winning issue. Because he got suckered into pushing it in the first place. So, I like Trump, big fan of Trump, personal admirer of Trump, but this is frustrating as all get out. And the gap was just so striking to me last week. When we really needed people to step up and step in, Bobby Kennedy's there in a heartbeat. Donald Trump is still AWOL. It's something he needs to fix.